Right, folks, this is a special edition of For Fox's Sake. What I'm going to do, folks, I'm going to... The question is, basically at the moment, is that is Brendan Rodgers going to leave Leicester for Arsenal? We all know that Arsenal are in the shit. And, you know, the Arsenal... I'm quite proud of the fact that Brendan Rodgers has come to Leicester and he's made such an impact at the club that other clubs are looking for him. You know, I mean, it's not the best scenario for Leicester, but, you know, these are the bigger clubs, or so-called bigger clubs, right? Yeah, Arsenal are a big club, and I'll give them complete respect because I loved Arsenal when Ian Wright were knocking the goals in. I thought it was brilliant. It was good to watch them play and all that kind of thing, right? So I do like Arsenal. But what it is with Arsenal is since they've been taken over by this Stan cranky bastard, they're not the club they used to be. And I feel quite sorry for, I feel sorry for most, I don't know whether I feel sorry for football fans. I feel sorry for the way these clubs come in, these blokes come in and they take the clubs over and they basically just rip the heart and soul out of clubs. Yeah, you've got a nice big stadium and all that at Arsenal. But the bloke who owns it is just a complete knobhead. You know, he doesn't really care about football fans and stuff like that. He's a bit like the Mike Ashley, you know, of London. They just don't give a fuck. Fortunately, Leicester have got owners who do care about the club and are actually looking after the club. And, you know, some of these owners should take a leaf out of the book of the Leicester City owners. I'm not going to try and say his name because I can't. We call him Top, so that's what we do. But this video is mainly about Sly Sports and their shitty news channel, their shitty sports news channel that just tries to create stories so people sit there and watch it and think it must be true because it's Sky Sports. Well, the Sky Sports are no better than the Sun, to be fair, because they're a bunch of lying bastards, and I think Sky Sports ain't far off from them. At the moment, Sky are a fucking embarrassment. They're just an embarrassment creating stories. The interview at the end of the game yesterday, I've made notes, folks, so if I keep looking down. The interview at the end of the game, is it Jeff somebody or other? I can't fucking remember his name. He were interviewing Brendan Rodgers at the end of the game, and you could tell he wasn't really bothered about the result or anything like that. All he wanted to do was get the money shot and ask Brendan about his contract. Now, anybody who has an ounce of footballing interest know that in today's game, most players and managers have a release clause of a certain amount of money. And fair play to them and their agents for doing that kind of thing. And fair play to the clubs for putting that in there so that clubs can't just come in and poach them. So fair play to them. But that's all he wanted to do, Sky, that reporter at Sky News. He just wanted to do that and ask that question and try and basically create the shit and ill feeling. But what Sky didn't do, they've got the highlight of it now circulating about the contract thing. But they didn't really shows you the bit where Brendan's quite happy, he's building something and all that. And in one way, I know I'm speaking from a Leicester fan here, but in one way, yes, Brendan would no doubt want to better himself and see what he could do at another club. But at this moment in time, Leicester are trying to become a big club, and we've got a massive training facility being built just over there, where I live, in Loughborough. Near Loughborough, there is a massive training facility being built over there, and they reckon it's going to be like one of the best, if not the best, in Europe or something like that. I hear that the duvets and the pillars are going to be better than the ones at Spurs that Jose Mourinho uses. You know, and Leicester on about having they are having the ground extended, they're going up. When Leicester had the ground built, it was built so they could actually put another stand on top of the ground. So we've got a decent youth set up. We've got a decent training facilities coming. There's big things happening at Leicester. The owners are, you know, I think they're the sixth richest in the Premier League. You know, they're not short of a few quid. They're richer than the Glaziers, and you know, the Leicester are no longer in a selling club. And I would probably think that if the owners want to keep Brendan Rodgers, they will pay him as well. It looks like Maddison might be signing a new contract, but obviously Sly Sports are doing the best to stir the shit over that as well. I understand that people want news and they want to, you know, find out the latest stuff, but Sky, I just seem to be inventing stuff and trying to stir as much shit as possible. I mean, I must admit, I've hardly watched Sky Sports News or anything like that since they got rid of Helen Chamberlain from Soccer AM. That was just a complete fucking no-no for me. I don't think Helen Chamberlain's absolutely the best entertaining presenter there is. But she's been there from day one, and I quite liked her. So I've really stopped watching Soccer AM and Sky Sly Sports News since then, because it's just a complete joke. But moving on to this thing about Sky, when they do this, the people in the player in a half and a half shirt. What the fuck's that all about? How disrespectful is that to a club on both sides to put a half and a half shirt on? What the fuck's that all about? I honestly can't work it out. And what are they doing? And all they're doing is they're just pissing football fans off. And they'll just, I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there. Please put your comments below. Have you stopped watching Sky Sports because it's basically full of bullshit? So I'm just going through my notes, folks. I've basically covered everything I have. No doubt Celtic fans will be watching this and the close situation at Leicester and hoping that Brendan Rodgers does move so they can say, I told you so. In one way, I honestly don't want Brendan Rodgers to leave Leicester. I honestly don't want him to leave because I think he could actually make this club into a force to be reckoned with in the future. I don't think we could compete with the big bucks of Manchester City, and I don't think there is many anyway that could do that, you know, because Man United can't do it, can they? You can dress Man United up as you like as the biggest earning club in whatever in the fucking world, along with Real Madrid and Barcelona. But Man United are no longer the force they used to be in the transfer market, basically because they're playing shit football. But it is there that we down at Leicester, when you talk to some of the supporters and all that, we do actually think that Brendan could actually make this club into something absolutely massive. Not massive on the size of Real Madrid and all that, don't get me stupid, you know, I'm not that, but, you know, so Chelsea are just basically, not Chelsea, Celtic fans are just dying for this to happen so they can tell you so. But if Brendan does leave and goes on to bigger things, I do wish him well, because at this moment in time he's put down the foundations for Leicester City to build on in these short 8 to 9 months that he's been here. I don't know. It would be a shame to see him go. But just moving on to something else about this, you know, football's a fickle game, and you know, managers come and go. And there is no loyalty in football anymore, as you can see. You know, the Pochettino thing is what I'm actually trying to move on to. I know what I want to say, but I don't want to try and fuck myself over this. But the Pochettino thing, there is no loyalty in football, and that comes from both sides. Managers and players are alike. They are all out to get what they can. You know, football teams, football clubs have a responsibility to the staff and all that. And if these teams go down, it's going to cost a fortune. So I don't know what the fuck I'm saying at the end here. I do know what I want to say is that there ain't no loyalty in football, and I think sometimes you have to take what you can, because if Brendan does leave, I can't blame him for the ambition. I think that's what I'm saying. Because if it all goes wrong at Leicester, I don't think that they would be too short on sacking him. Because that's the way of the game now. Companies like Sly Sports have invested that much money into the game. Clubs can't afford to go down. Because I did actually hear that when Stoke City got relegated, it was going to cost over £100 million. Not just in the club, but for the surrounding areas. You know, the local companies and all that. So, I don't know where I went on that last bit. I do apologise, folks. I wasn't trying to drag the video out to make it over 10 minutes. I did actually have something that I wanted to say. But there's a don't edit, and I can't edit. I won't do it. But there you go, folks. I'm just a bit fed up with Sky Sports. And I hope you people out there in BVM land agree with me. Because Sky are a complete fucking joke. They're an embarrassment to reporters and journalism all over the world. They're just fucking embarrassing. They really are. They just try to invent stories out of nothing, or just... I don't honestly understand where they think they're going from, but I would love to see the viewing figures for Sly Sports because they are absolutely shit. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there because I'm rambling on now. Alright, folks, hope you agree. Put your comments at the bottom. Laters.